What's good? It's your boy, Gatris.
And Gigi.
You already know what it is. Today we got a very informational one.
We're back with another history lesson.
The falling of World War II. This is. I'm interested to see how serious these wars were and to see how crazy it was. Obviously, we didn't live back in that time.
Yeah,
but
I think this will be good for us. There's a lot of information that is important to have, and also it shows reverence to the people who fought in these wars and who unfortunately passed.
Yeah, so let's just shout out to you. Shout out for your service if you're still here with us, or you got a grandfather or grandma. Shout out to you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go.
And an 80-year-old today was 10 when World War II ended.
Wow.
4 when it began.
Wow.
A soldier who saw battle.
So my grandma was around during World War II. She was, wow.
So how old was she?
She's like barely 80, so she was probably like 10 or 11 or 9.
She probably like 9 or 10.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But she was 4 when it started.
Wow.
4 when it started and 10 when it ended.
Yeah, I think my grandma was born in 1942 or something like that.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Would have to be in his late 80s, at least today.
Wow.
Generals, political leaders, the decision makers of the war.
Wow.
Few are still with us. And over the past few decades, we've seen authors and filmmakers rush to capture stories from survivors before this connection of memory is lost.
Yeah.
Those ages just really put it into perspective.
Right?
And that's a large time frame to be 4 when it started and 10 when it ended.
So it was going on for what, 6 years?
6 years. So roughly like your whole like early childhood was taken up by war.
Yeah.
Wow, that's.
I mean, this urges you to kind of like talk to your grandparents, talk to your parents, talk to older people, because there's so much knowledge that they have and so many things they've been through that you just can imagine. I didn't know my grandma was around during that time. I would have been actually, you know.
And then I think it was Hitler who was
56.
Yeah.
When he passed. So, wow.
This project is not about individual war stories, and it's not about survivors. We're going to tally up the tens of millions of people whose lives were cut short by the war.
Wow.
And see how these numbers stack up to other wars in history, including trends in recent conflicts.
Oh, buckle up, y'all.
We'll be counting soldiers and civilians separately. Each of these figures represents 1,000 people who died.
That's so sad.
Wow.
Civilians were of all walks of life, whereas military deaths
children.
were almost entirely men. The average age was about 23.
Golly.
In most
Dang, I mean, this is about to be. It shows you how scary war is. I don't think we ever really went through a real war yet in our lifetime. I mean, you had
I think we've seen conflict, but not to the scale of like a world war.
We just don't know how serious a war
for every 1,000 soldiers killed, there are more than 1,000 who were injured.
Wow.
Right.
The word casualty can be confusing because in military speak, it often includes both deaths and injuries, and anything else that gets a soldier out of service. Here, we're just counting the deaths. And we'll begin with American soldiers.
Yeah.
Over 400,000 died.
400,000.
Most of the deaths occurred in the European theater.
400,000.
My brain can't even fathom that amount of people.
That's almost 500,000 people.
But I can't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's so many people.
It's just too much to 400,000 people. The European theater. What was that?
Maybe okay, maybe
the battlefield. Are they referring to that as the theater?
Yeah, maybe. Okay.
Fighting the Nazis.
Okay.
And about a quarter were in the Pacific, fighting the Japanese.
Okay.
When you put them on the timeline, you see that casualties were the heaviest at the end of the war. The war began on September 1st, 1939.
So not too many people.
But the U.S. wasn't willing to join the fight until Pearl Harbor, 2 years later.
Golly.
The deaths increased drastically on D-Day, when the Allies invaded Normandy. One of the most tragic moments of the war was on D-Day at Omaha Beach, where 2,500 Americans fell. So about the same number of U.S. soldiers died on this single beach landing as the entire 13 years of the recent war in Afghanistan.
That's crazy. Wow. On one day.
The bloodiest battle in the Pacific was Okinawa, which lasted 82 days, during which 12,500 Americans died. About 5,000 of these deaths were at sea from kamikaze attacks. Now let's look at some other countries, starting with Europe.
Wow.
Germany started World War II when it invaded Poland.
Right.
Poland ultimately lost 200,000 soldiers in the war.
Okay.
Most died after the invasion while the country was occupied by Germany and the Soviet Union. Germany, meanwhile, lost just 16,000 in the invasion of Poland.
Oh, wow. So they was
The Nazis went on to invade and conquer other countries, including Denmark, Belgium, the Netherlands, France, Greece, and Yugoslavia. France surrendered, but after losing 92,000 soldiers in the Battle of France. Over 200,000 ultimately fell, which includes deaths in POW camps, French colonies, and other fighting. Yugoslavia suffered almost 500,000 military deaths. The initial invasion brought relatively few casualties on both sides. But the deaths mounted under Nazi occupation due to guerrilla fighting, civil conflict, and mass executions.
Wow.
The Nazi invasions were swift, with relatively few German losses. Even the Nazi commanders expressed surprise at their success.
Wow.
And then we have the United Kingdom and the United States, who were not invaded, but took the fight to the Nazis. Britain lost about the same number of soldiers as the US, which includes the British colonies. Germany lost about 500,000 soldiers fighting the US and Britain in what is known as the Western Front, which took place in France.
Just like we did a reaction video a while ago, how UK was in it first and USA jumped in it, but like they definitely helped out a lot.
This is just very.
Wow.
I don't think there's a word to put into context how this can make, or how this does make people feel.
And it's crazy, like, because a lot of people don't know or haven't been through it. Like, when people joke about, like, World War IV on TikTok, like, that is, it's not a joke. Because you see a lot of people joke about it.
It's not something to joke about.
Yeah, I'm like, this is scary.
And people make, like, memes.
Yeah.
Like, little jokes, like, tweets, like
videos
about it. Yeah. Or, like, me and my girlfriend in war.
It's
It's not funny in any regard.
Golly,
but I did, because you know how they had those pictures of like the soldiers? Did they have reporters with the soldiers?
Maybe.
Like documenting it? Or how did those people
get pictures?
Who took the pictures?
Maybe they did have somebody there taking pictures.
And then imagine their role as a reporter. Like you're not a soldier, you're there documenting.
Probably not getting on the real battle, but you're probably taking pictures for
Very interesting. Yeah, and you see it all happening. But you have to preserve it for history.
That's crazy.
So many people.
Yeah, this is a lot of people. This is
lost.
Wow.
In Belgium.
Soviet Union.
But most Nazi soldiers died in the Eastern Front. Germany's unsuccessful invasion of the Soviet Union.
Wow.
The numbers
are
staggering.
Yeah.
The most famous battle of the Eastern Front, and perhaps the turning point of the European War, was Stalingrad. The German 6th Army successfully took Stalingrad, but then got surrounded by the Soviets and cut off from food and ammunition. 500,000 Nazis would ultimately die in Stalingrad. Another 100,000 were taken prisoner, of which 6,000 would ever return. POWs had a low survival rate throughout World War II, and it was particularly grim in the East. When you include these POWs, roughly the same number of Germans died in Stalingrad as all the Western Front fighting against France, the UK, and the US.
So they... Wow.
And though Stalingrad was a victory for the Soviets, they suffered almost twice as many losses as Germany.
Wow. They won, but it took a lot of people. Golly.
The Soviet Union would eventually defeat the once unstoppable German army, killing 2.3 million Nazi soldiers.
2.3 million people.
But winning the war
That's crazy.
came at a cost.
That's the Soviet Union.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they lost a lot of people trying to. You know what's scary about it? It took the whole country. Like the whole country had to get up in there. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Like the whole country got to get up in there. There's so many people.
Multiple countries.
But I'm talking about like just like everybody in the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was like I feel like back then there was no dodging it. It was no like, hey, I'm not joining. Like, you know, like it was just like you getting up in there.
I mean, I think like as in anywhere, there's like rules and guidelines and restrictions. But when you're in a world war,
yeah,
like you're taking whoever.
If you're a man, you're getting up in there. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Did women? No, women.
I don't know. I know they did certain things in the war, but I don't know if they was like fighting. I bet you a lot of them were.
Like nurses.
Yeah, nurses probably still got killed though. But,
well, yeah.
But that's crazy.
I just don't believe it.
Yeah. Still going. Wow, and they won?
Ugh.
That's a lot.
What in the world?
How did they win?
8.7 million is the official
million?
tally by the Russian military, a hotly disputed number. Some studies have calculated as many as 14 million.
Oh my gosh.
8.7 million.
To complete the count of European military deaths, we need to add German deaths from other fronts, including the North and Africa,
Okay.
as well as deaths from other Axis powers allied with the Nazis, Hungary, Romania, and Italy. When you put these European military deaths on the timeline, it looks like this. You can now interact with the chart to learn more. Pause the narration if you would like more time.
That's dope. Wow.
That's really cool. I like that.
Wow.
They offers that.
Yeah.
And now we switch to civilian deaths in Europe.
Oh, God.
Oh, I don't want to see this.
I know. Oh,
6
God.
million Jewish people were killed in the Holocaust.
6 million.
If you separate this by country, you see that about half, 2.7 million, were Polish. 700,000 were Soviets, followed by Hungary and 17 other countries.
Wow.
Broken down another way, about half of the 6 million were killed in the concentration camps.
Yeah.
Wow.
Over 1 million died in Auschwitz.
Auschwitz.
Most were killed in the gas chambers. Others died from starvation, exhaustion, disease, and other forms of execution. The second most deadly camp was Treblinka, which was exclusively an extermination camp, set up to look like a train station.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Mobile killing groups killed 1.4 million Jews.
In the city.
It's a
Like with the gas
child.
chambers,
Oh my
men were
God.
killed first to reduce the risk of revolt.
Wow. Yo, this is one of the most emotional videos. I mean, this is sad.
I know, this is awful.
And the fact that we're lucky enough to have still people around that live through this who can tell us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because when in our heads it feels like hundreds of years. Like it feels so long ago.
Yeah,
but when
it
you really
does
think
feel like
about
a long time ago.
people who lived through this was 80 years old. I was like, this is wow. This is deep. I mean, yeah, world wars are no laughing matter. Like it's really something you want to avoid at all costs. I'm like every country, everybody in the world's gonna feel it.
And I think you know that it's a huge event, but then when you see the numbers,
like,
and it's also helpful to see the people like stacked up the way that he did it,
Yeah.
like the graphs, because then you can see like that's a lot
of
casualties.
yeah, wow.
The Holocaust also includes non-Jewish deaths. Between 130,000 to 500,000 Roma, then called Gypsies, were killed.
Gypsies.
The numbers are disputed. About 250,000 people with disabilities were killed. Homosexuals, Catholics, and other groups were also exterminated, but their numbers are relatively small. Some historians say that other civilian deaths should go under the label of Holocaust. About 2 million non-Jewish Poles were killed under German occupation, some of which were sent to the gas chambers at Auschwitz. When you combine civilian and military deaths, over 16% of the total Polish population died in World War II, which is the highest percentage of any country.
Yeah.
60%.
But not the highest in total death count. The Soviet Union again tops that list, losing at least as many civilians as it did soldiers, somewhere between 10 and 20 million.
20 million.
A particularly dark moment for the Soviet Union was the
They had to just rebuild everything then after this war.
Like a good percentage of your whole country is gone.
Your population is gone.
That's
I imagine that your land is
destroyed.
Completely destroyed. So you're rebuilding everything.
This is sad, man. I'm like, golly. Oof. Oh my god. And then the people who are still there probably get survivor's remorse. Like, golly. Stuff that they probably saw. And
yeah. Or just the trauma.
Oof.
The siege of Leningrad, now St. Petersburg. German forces surrounded Leningrad before civilians could be evacuated. Supplies, including food, were cut off for 2.5 years.
Wow. 2.5 years?
1.5 million people died as a result, mostly from starvation, mostly civilians. Stalin's cruelty towards his own people is partly responsible for these numbers. He often didn't allow civilians to evacuate from cities, thinking it would cause the soldiers protecting them to fight harder. About 1 million Soviets died in Stalin's own labor camps called...
That's low-key horrible. That's low-key horrible. So he thought
evil.
The soldiers would fight harder since they're...
Because
he's like, your family's here. Like, you might want to... That's bogus. That's messed up.
There's some evil forces behind
evil leaders, man.
all of this.
And most of this stuff is like, it's crazy how many people pass over some top evil leaders or leaders just want to impose their will. You know, I'm like, it's just like... It's
wanting power.
That's
greedy.
what I'm saying.
It was
greedy.
And people.
The Gulag.
Gulag. Oh
Just
my
about
God.
every country suffered civilian losses, especially countries who were invaded. While many died as a result of so-called collateral damage, the biggest numbers occurred when it was no accident. Civilians were exterminated, purposely fired upon or bombed, used as human shields, or intentionally deprived of food. The intentional killing of civilians was done by most warring parties, including the United Kingdom and the United States. The United Kingdom was spared of a land invasion, but still lost 60,000 civilians, largely from German air raids or blitzes, often directed at civilian population centers.
Wow.
The UK did the same to German cities at a much greater magnitude, causing about 10 times the number of deaths. But most German civilian deaths came from the ground at the late stage of the war. When the Nazi regime collapsed, civilians living in occupied regions had to desperately flee from the advancing Soviet army.
Yeah.
Rapes were widespread, and death estimates ranged from 600,000 to 3 million. Let's step back and see where we are with the totals.
22 million people total.
We just counted about 20 million civilian deaths in Europe. If you add this to the European military deaths we already covered, it brings us to over 40 million.
41 million people.
Then we have the Asian theater. Here we see the vast majority of military deaths in Asia came from China and Japan. On the civilian side, about 6 million deaths from China, Indonesia, Korea, Indochina, and the Philippines can be attributed to Japanese war crimes, which are sometimes compared to the Nazi atrocities due to the sheer scale of the cruelty.
Wow.
China had the second highest death count after the Soviet Union. And like the Soviets, the Chinese government demonstrated a stunning willingness to sacrifice its own people.
Wow.
Chinese nationalists opened the dike at the Yellow River, hoping the flood would halt the Japanese advance. 500,000 Chinese civilians or more were killed, which is 2 or 3 times the number who died in all countries in the 2004 Asian tsunamis.
Wow. Not even close.
But the invasion of China only cost Japan 200,000 soldiers. Most were killed fighting the US and allies in the Pacific War. A significant portion of Japanese civilian deaths were caused by American firebombing and the 2 nuclear attacks.
Wow, yeah.
Contrary to official US statements,
Hiroshima and all
these
that.
airstrikes were directed at civilian populations, not military targets.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
When you add all the deaths outside of Europe, it brings us to a grand total of 70 million for the war. Give or take, depending on who's counting, and what civilian deaths get included. More people.
So far, this is crazy. This is crazy.
That is a lot.
A lot of people, man.
70 million.
70 million people. That's a lot of people. Oh my gosh, man. I feel emotional watching this. I'm like,
Yeah, I do too.
I'm
Very
thinking.
sad.
I'm like, is this like the worst time on the planet Earth? I'm like, it seems like it. Like, it has to be top 3, top 5 ever, like, worst time periods to live on the planet. Like,
because even if you're not a soldier, you're just living in fear.
Yeah, and you're
of what's happening, what could happen.
That's crazy.
There's no food for some of the people.
Yeah.
There's barely shelter.
Yeah. Sheesh, this is crazy, y'all.
Died in World War II than in any other war in history.
Yeah, okay, so
For comparison, here are 20 or so of the very worst wars and atrocities we have on record.
So it was the worst one. Oh my golly.
Some of these are more of atrocities than wars, but we've seen how that distinction can get blurry. Some of these spanned across centuries.
Golly.
World War II had the highest body count, and it all happened in just 6 years.
Wow.
The world's population has grown
almost
significantly since the
double.
earliest.
Yeah, it's almost double Mao and
Some of these
Congo.
bad ones.
There's some crazy ones though. British War, Congo, American Indians. Dang, 20 million. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Atrocities on this list.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
If you want to compare them in terms of what percentage of the world died, we can adjust the chart to look like this.
Oh, so
This rough approximation tells us there may have been more devastating wars before World War II, proportionally
more people
speaking.
died.
When we turn to post-war conflicts, it's hard to say anything that isn't controversial.
Yeah.
But the data shows something quite extraordinary has been happening. In 1989, John Gaddis coined the phrase the long peace to identify the absence of conflict between the nuclear powers during the Cold War.
That's good.
25
we
years
keep that
later,
up.
the Cold War is over, and the term is still being used, although its meaning may have shifted. European countries have not fought each other, except for this 10-day war in 1956 when the Soviet Union invaded Hungary. When we look at European wars before World War II, it looks like this. They tend to be more frequent as you go back, though smaller in scale. And the largest 44...
I get it. After something like that, everybody like, all right, that's
We just need a...
like, I leave you alone,
Yeah.
you leave me alone, because that got real ugly.
Well, because you don't have people, really.
Yeah.
Your land is demolished.
Yeah.
You're focusing on yourself, and so you don't have time to think about who else am I going to go fight.
Yeah.
I mean, let alone do I have the resources to even go fight someone?
Exactly.
And the answer is probably not.
Hopefully we can keep this long peace on you for 100
I
years.
know.
Yes.
Let's be in the long peace period.
Yeah.
Four
a long
economies of the
time.
world have not battled each other since World War II.
Good.
Good.
Rich countries have fought poorer countries, like the US versus Iraq.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But rich countries have not fought other rich countries.
Good.
Such a period of peace between the so-called great powers hasn't been seen since the Roman Empire.
Good.
Wow.
To many, peace is too strong of a word. Wars have occurred since World War II, and they can
I
be
think it's
grouped into these 4
neutrality.
categories.
Right.
I think the term should be neutrality.
Neutrality
Maybe
is-
not peace, but we are in a state of neutrality.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we know how serious and crazy it can get, so, wow.
We don't see colonial wars anymore. We've already noted that interstate wars between rich countries have not occurred at all. And here we see wars involving smaller economies have tapered off.
Yeah.
That leaves civil wars of 2 types, with and without foreign intervention. And this is what these battle deaths look like alongside of World War II. More people died fighting in World War II than in all the wars since.
Wow.
And again, we can't forget about world population, which has almost tripled since World War II.
Yeah, it's like
If we
8
scale
billion
these
people
numbers to
now.
show deaths in proportion to world population, showing the likelihood that a person on Earth dies in battle, the downward trend becomes even more pronounced. Now, this isn't to infer anything about why this trend is occurring. That's a discussion for another day. You can now interact with this chart to explore what conflicts are behind the totals. Now, bear in mind, we're just looking at battle deaths here, not civilians who are in decline. Peace is a difficult thing to measure.
Yeah.
It's a bit like counting the people who didn't die in wars that never happened.
Yeah.
Right?
We give such importance to the word peace, but we don't tend to notice it when it occurs or report on it. Sometimes it takes reminding ourselves of how terrible war once was to see the peace that has been growing around us. Of course, this trend may not continue, and it's not clear how looking at these charts can help us make the right decisions to ensure that it does. But the longer the long peace grows, the more significant it becomes. So if watching the news doesn't make us feel hopeful about where things are heading, watching the numbers might.
What a emotional, informational video.
Yeah, that was so informative.
Yeah, and it really puts you in perspective. It's just, hell yeah, World War II was no joke. And joking about World War III is not.
I know, don't do that.
Yeah, it's a lot of ignorant people who just don't know what they're talking about, who don't know the severity. Now we know. I'm like, golly.
What I do wish, and I think this is just a product of American education, but I knew the names, but I couldn't really recall like who was in where and what exactly was happening. I think we should have watched a video beforehand that like documented everything, but like a summary of it.
Yeah, we should do that.
Because these numbers were very, very... I want to say the word impressive, but not in a good way.
Yeah,
like in a
just
very bad way.
Yeah, very bad way. Opposite. Like notorious. Right? Sure, I'm way off. But yeah, man, that was interesting. If y'all want us to check out some more videos about the wars and stuff, we're interested. I want to check out some more and learn some more, because this is the type of stuff that you will never forget. Like, I'm never going to forget how serious World War II is ever again. Like, I'm going to remember.
41 million.
Yeah, got up to 70-something,
Yeah,
70
70s.
million. Sheesh. Y'all let us know, man. Tell us some stories. Tell us some stories, man. It's your boy Tris.
And Gigi.
Peace.